everyone, Joe here from ActionX. Welcome to What's in the Tuber. Welcome back. If this is your 7th Walker Season 3 episode review, we're into uncertain times, ladies and gentlemen. This is the last Walker episode of 2022. We do not have a return date for 2023, which is going to be probably, when that is indication that it's probably mean that it's going to be a pretty long hiatus for Walker. We don't know what the turnaround factor is on its return. But honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. This episode, it kind of hit me harder than I expected, and I feel like that was such a. Again, I'm only speaking for myself here. I feel like it definitely left an impact for me. Going as this is the mid-season finale. This is the last episode we're gonna get for a while. We don't know when Walker's gonna return. But overall speaking, like I was very surprised on, like, as it felt like a smaller scale episode. It definitely felt like it, but it definitely had a big impact to see where the characters stand at this halfway mark of the season. I don't know how many episodes this season is going to have, really. We all don't know that still, but it does definitely feel like this is kind of entering the next part of this season's story. A story about change, growth, and experiencing the darkness in all of us. And I feel like so far, yeah, this episode definitely delivered on that front. And I'm actually a little bummed that, like, we didn't get a return date yet. It was like, oh, sometime in 2023, which I'm like, well, that's a vast thing. That's a bold statement. It's not going to be too long, maybe like February or March, but it does give the team time to work on these episodes at a good pace, that they're not rushing to get the next Walker episode out by a certain time period, which definitely this is gonna be like a big old question mark until whenever we do come back next year. But with that being said, I want to go for the Butcher recap and talk about this week's episode of Walker. So we begin. It's Thanksgiving Day. For some reason, they changed the lighting. They changed the color of this episode, indicating that this is a very not mundane, but like kind of like a much more downer of an episode. It's Thanksgiving Day, and Grandma Walker's walking back home. She's trying to call someone. We later know it's her brother, but he doesn't pick up the phone. She briefly talks to him on the voicemail, but it turns out this is just another annual tradition that she would always try to call him, but she would get no response. She heads back into the house. She finds that the Cordell and Liam are about to begin a hunt for their turkey for the year, breaking in a new tradition of actually hunting down the turkey itself instead of buying it from the store. It's their way to kind of like, freshen things up this year, especially since this year's been very much of a, downer so far for them. That, at least let's do something new. Let's kick things up a little bit, which I do respect about it. And that's what they're trying to do, as well as, trying to get Stella to come back, because it's been a few weeks since the last episode. So they've been living without Stella for a while. And it's beginning to impact Cordell a little bit, because, we never really got to see the full ramifications of that quite a bit when we last saw them. So this is definitely him, like, feeling like he lost his daughter in a way. She's not far away, but like this definitely felt like something that he wasn't expecting, to be honest with you. And he's trying his best to try and pull her back in to get that apology, but so far it's not really taking the bait. So Cordell, Liam, and Grandpa Walker head out into a neighboring field to go hunting turkeys. They fail, and they're trying. And also, it's a pretty big Thanksgiving for them, because Trey's coming, Cassie's coming, her brother, aka Liam's new boyfriend, Captain James is coming for a bit. Like, a lot of people are coming over, and it's going to be a big old party over here. So they're definitely trying to impress. But they fail to get the turkey, and then Grandpa Walker just breaks the news of like, oh yeah, I already got the turkey already. I knew this was going to happen. I'm like, I don't trust you boys for shit. Like, it's already back at the house. So I'm like, yeah, let's do this. So they head back to go start cooking the meal. Apparently it's also a very sentimental day. It's the one day that Grandma Walker doesn't have to cook. So the boys are preparing the entire meal from scratch themselves, which honestly is a little bit respectful. I do appreciate that fact that they're trying. After that, I want to say, we head back over to the side stool where, Jerry's still out on wherever the heck she is. So it's Stella and, honestly, I really gotta give credit to Stella and I forgot his name already, damn. Young Daverson here. I was trying to remember the name at the last minute, but I can't. They're actually been taking ship. They've actually been steering this restaurant by themselves, which honestly is surprising, considering the fact that, Cordell has his own say in the business. So he would have the right to go, and it seems like he hasn't been showing up to the restaurant. So I guess these two, like 18, 19-year-olds have been running an entire restaurant by themselves for the past few weeks, which is honestly impressive. They're donating food to a local women's shelter. They need it for the holidays. They're prepping it up. Also, they're still debating on what to do for that night for their own Thanksgiving, since they're still debating should they go back to Colton's place and just have their first Thanksgiving there together. She's still debating, considering the fact that Cordell's been blowing up her phone with like food pictures and everything, trying to tempt her to come over. But she's not really wanting to take the bait. However, things take a turn for the worse when they get a notice on their door, on the side stool's door, indicating that they have officially lost their liquor license, because it's apparently been more publicized that, yeah, they served alcohol to minors, which of course was all August's fault. But the sidestep is closing down because they cannot sell liquor, and that's mostly what the business is. So they're basically going to get shut down, which is like, shit, what do they do now? Because again, Stella, I know right now, if she goes to Cordell and tells him about this, he's going to put this on her like he's been doing so far. And Cordell's like, you know what? How about this? We go there, we drop the bombshell, and we just leave, because it's not our fault. And let August deal with it. Because if you're not there to talk about it, August is going to have to step up and like actually talk about it, because he was the only one there that night. So it's a valid plan, but Stella's not really 100% certain on the plan, but they're going to talk about it more later on. Meanwhile, the Walker boys, including August, are prepping the dinner. It's clear that August's demeanor is kind of changing a little bit, but I do appreciate the uniformity of like them actually cooking. Cassie and her brother show up. Apparently, they're more concerned, like, since this is their first Thanksgiving Black Friday season together again, that they apparently were a Black Friday double tag team where they used to do the doorbuster sales, which I'm gonna be honest with you, like 2016 to like 2018, 2019, like when I was big on Black Friday. Now I don't really care anymore, since most of the stuff that I really want are never on sale. And I just also do Cyber Monday. And also, yeah, Black Friday is kind of like derogatory anymore, because like a lot of stores are like doing their Black Friday sales literally weeks before, because it's the age of the internet, so who cares? So it's like, it's sad to say, like, I never got to have like a proper Black Friday experience where like I would finish up my dinner, I would go to my local retailer that's near me, line up and get I don't even need any of the big stuff. I don't need a new TV or anything, because I have everything I ever need already, so I don't need it. I've only gone there in the past to get cheap movies and TV shows, so that was my mildly real advantage to it. But not anymore. But they've been attacking to it, so their plan is like to have dinner. It's to leave dinner at 7, head out by the lines, and then like go into doorbusters at 8 and be done by 9. So that's their master strategy. But of course, Liam's like, oh, we're gonna have dinner around 8, maybe like 9 for dessert, and they're like, oh no, this is not part of the plan. But thankfully they were like, oh, we're gonna form an exit strategy, just be a very nice civil way to get out of this. No, Liam's new boyfriend literally is like, yeah, we have this like doorbusters thing that we want to get to at around 7 or 8, so we might just skip out on dinner all entirely. But Liam really wants to make this work, so he's like, you know what, how about this? We can move the dinner early, so that you can have it quick, so you still have a decent place in line. So they agree to it and they stay on board. Everyone's on staff. Well, not everyone. Not yet. James is not there quite just yet. I want to say, yeah, so they're enjoying the game. Trey's just, I'm noticing Cassie's been texting a lot to someone. Turns out she's been talking to Kevin, the chief of staff from last week's episode. It turns out they hit it off pretty well. They're just in the talking phase right now. It's nothing pretty romantical, but Cassie does generally have an interest in him in a romantic sense. But of course, considering the fact that she has, according to her, little to no romantic skills or history, then she's still a little bit new to this area. So she's playing it slow, and James Trey's like, you know what, why don't you invite him over? Make your first date here. And she's like, no. Like, okay, I'll at least ask. He's probably gonna say no. And he says yes, and it's like, oh damn. Even the Walker brothers are like, yeah, we can make it work. We got enough food for everyone. So yeah, the more the merrier, we always say. When did they say that? I don't know. It's just whatever it is. James shows up. He's only there for a little bit because he's about to catch a flight to go see his well, I guess it's his ex-wife, now partner again, and his son. He's going to fly over there, so he's only at the Walkers for a bit before his flight. Cassie brings up a little bit of a reference to the evidence case we got a couple weeks ago. And Cordell's not happy with that because they're still trying to keep that on the down low that they opened the evidence, like they broke the chain of command technically. And it's like, it's just a casual reference. It doesn't mean anything. It's like, well, for James, it's like everything's for a reason. He will overanalyze everything, and you saying that is going to like really butcher this case. So they're off finishing up packing up for the turkey stuff, the Thanksgiving plates. A storm's starting to break out. Indicating that this might be a much more worse weather than they thought. Stella and Colton decide to finally just show up to drop the bombshell, but it's a bit awkward. Stella's more happy to see her grandparent than her own dad. Like even when Cordell tries to hug her, she's like, "Okay, you're hugging me," but she doesn't really hug him back. So it's indicated like, yeah, she's still not 100% comfortable with him right now. What happens after that? I want to say. So they're just trying to figure out when the right time is to drop this. Stella visits August for a bit in his room, who's eating some candy, considering the fact they eventually get an electricity outage, so they have no power, indicating like, yeah, it's pretty worse for the wear. So Stella breaks the news to August about like, yeah, we lost the liquor license, but he's still being a dick, saying that, okay, you got a speech ready for me so I can talk to Dad about this? And she's like, why are you doing this now? And he's bringing up the same old notion of like, you're supposed to be in college, you're supposed to be away from here, and you're ruining my style. So like, let me do my own thing now. But he doesn't really care about like what it costs Stella, like, because he doesn't care right now. Grandma Walker enters, notices the sign as well, and she's like, okay, that's it, August, you better step up right now, figure out this issue with your sister, and you got to tell your dad about it. You have to tell your dad about this, not Stella. She's already suffered enough already for your mistakes. August still doesn't really understand the whole point of things. Cordell is at the shed with Grandpa Walker. Grandpa Walker's giving him some advice about, like, I'm not going to mess with how you father your children, but I'm just saying, like, right now, before your Grandma Walker intervenes, is that you need to figure this out now because, eventually it's going to become worse for her. Like, yeah, I know Stella made a lot of mistakes, but it's also the fact that August made a big mistake also, but you're kind of ignoring that on purpose just so you can focus on Stella's shortcomings. So you need to acknowledge both of them. And, Cordell doesn't really like, he's like, I got this. I'm doing it my way. I will get to it. In reality, he's really not, to be honest with you. Kevin shows up and he's a little bit drenched. Apparently the storm got really worse and there's a lot of road closures, right? I mean that they really are stuck there. And yeah, Kevin doesn't really like Cassie, I'm assuming, and so that's why he made the entire effort to drive out here to like actually be with her. So it's actually pretty sweet. James is calling to cancel his flight, as well as Trey heading off earlier too, because he has a holiday shift, because that's all what the new Rangers have to do. They have to do one holiday shift at the start of their career, so he's off to do that. James is called to confirm that he's not going to be making it in time for his original flight. He went to the Grandma Walker and asked her once and for all, like, yeah, why don't you cook on Thanksgiving? Yeah, it's noble that the boys are doing it, but like, why don't you do it? It's like they said, like, so that she doesn't have to do it. It's like, it's not like, the wording is a bit weird. And she explains that, yeah, like many years ago, like her own mother passed away during Thanksgiving. All of a sudden they dropped everything. And it created like a conflict of interest, because not just that her mom passed away, but she also had a big fight with her brother that same night, and they never really recovered from it. They haven't really spoken to each other since that moment. And she's always experienced Thanksgiving as kind of like a negative time for her. And when she told Liam and Cordell and Liam about it, they're like, yeah, you know what? We're going to make every Thanksgiving great for you by making sure you don't do any work for us. That you just sit down and just enjoy the meal. Which is very noble, again, for them to think like that. The other thing I can really relate to this is that, well, I never had like a lost family member on a holiday, but my sister was born actually on Thanksgiving one year, so it's like I can literally remember when she was saying like we had to drop everything, we had to go to the hospital and figure that out. Like that's literally what my family did. Like my mom had her water broke on Thanksgiving Day. I think everything was ready to go. Like everything was ready. So we literally dropped everything. We went to the hospital. She gave birth, and that's all that we did for that front. So that was still like a very much of like No, it was just, a lot was happening that day, so I didn't really think much into it at the time. But like, yeah, I could definitely relate. Of like, those types of events, it can happen whenever and whenever they want to do. So it's like it's very interesting on that front, for me personally. So the light comes back on, everything's fine. The storm's kind of calming down. Also, there was a scene before where like a tree branch broke through the window. It destroyed most of the food. So when they were fixing back up, they were like figuring out how do we salvage this meal. Like a lot of the food is like now garbage because we can't really serve it. So they're trying their best to figure it out. I think they option to substitute the barbecue, the chicken or something, or smoke the turkey outside. Try to finish up the rest with like leftover stuff they have nearby. It was a very half-assed Thanksgiving meal. It still looks pretty. Just as soon as they actually got into the minute details of it, it's like, yeah, the turkey's not fully cooked. The gravy's not really the gravy. It's a soup leftovers from another night. It's like they were just trying like their best to like make this work, trying to be like, this is still good. We're still having a good time. And but definitely the stress is starting to seep in. Especially when the bickering starts between Stella and August, and the fact that, Cordell's trying to make the best of it by trying to make a big elastic in front of them, trying to like savage the moment. Just everyone, the tensions are starting to ride a little bit. Eventually, once Stella and August like reach a point, Grandma Walker's like, enough, this is it. Just show him the letter, show him the notice. And Cordell was about to get into Stella again about like her actions, and Grandma Walker's like, no, I know you want to follow your kids your own way, but you're purposely ignoring the fact that your son threw the party. He threw your daughter under the bus, and you've been literally letting him ride coke-free for the last month about this. So please, you gotta acknowledge this. You have to, and honestly, yeah, like Cordell definitely has been like, yeah, Stella's made a mistake, but it wasn't her fault on any of this part. You literally used an excuse to like vent out your own frustrations, and you made a bad call. You made a bad move. August now himself being thrown in the bus, like all of his accusations being revealed. He's like, he says a bad thing. He's like, he calls out his own grandma. He's like, you didn't have to like really expose me like that. And Grandma Walker's like, okay, I had enough of this kid. Like, either you follow your kid right now, or I'm about to. And Cordell was about to, but Grandma Walker's like, I'm done with this. I'm leaving, and that kind of ends the Thanksgiving dinner, sadly. Just in an awkward note, like. Just like I feel so sorry for that family. So everyone's splitting up. I had a lot of liquid up in my stomach earlier. Everything's coming to an end. Everyone's saying, just to start heading out. Liam is apologizing to Cassie's brother about like, trying to like make this all work. Cause again, it's their first Thanksgiving together. They just want the tradition to go well and just for them to be a part of that tradition. He understands, but like, he's also been trying to like, rekindle that connection with his sister, but they don't really need to do that anymore. Cause like, yeah, they're fine. Right now he should be focusing on this new relationship with Liam, and they decided to like, head out to do something else. So I'm like, yeah, they're gonna probably do some lovey stuff or something. I really don't know. Cassie's with Kevin. Cassie's like, really acknowledging the fact that, yeah, Kevin's Kevin hasn't really had much of a family. Like, he has a family, of course, but he never had like that big family, environment. And just seeing him, like, it definitely, like, it was ironic because, like, last week when Cassie was like, oh, I imagine my man to be, like, this and this and that, and, like, Kevin's starting to fulfill those details, but Cassie is giving him, like, a heads up, like, I am still very novice in this dating pool, so please forgive me if, like, I'm being a little bit more, not what a traditional thing would be. It's definitely going to take me a while, but they're willing to give it, like, a real go, which is good to see. Stella and Colton decide to leave early, having already done enough about the night. Cordell tries to stop them, trying to apologize to her, saying, I'm sorry, like, I made a mistake. I should have listened to you. I should have, like, really focused more on August. I really hope this could be like a beginning of change for us. Stella's not knocking it out of the woods that it could happen, like a possible recovery, but right now it's just a lot was said today. A lot of emotions were spread. Like tonight's not the night for them to really like focus on repairing. So they decide to leave, and they'll talk about another day. Leaving Cordell a little bit bummed that he didn't get to really fix things with his daughter tonight. James also leaves as well. But he leaves kind of like an ominous note saying that, yeah, next time we see each other, like, you, me, and Cassie have to talk about, certain things. So, indicating that he may know about the whole evidence tampering thing from earlier. So, that definitely is going to pay more problems for him down the road. I want to say anything else I'm missing. I don't think so. Yeah. So I think next we see we're back at the main house for Cordell and his Cordell and August, and August is on the couch, and August, honestly, I know he's trying his way to like try to get out of this, yell free. Cordell's like, I don't even know where to start. It's just there's just so much to like really. I can throw anything at you, but he will apologize the fact that he has been focusing on Stella too much, with her deciding to stay and everything, that he's been putting too much focus on her, and that, he forgot that, August was still here and he still needs more attention from him to like, finish out his development and make sure he's also a good man as well. So definitely it wasn't quite a shouting match that he deserved, that, August should have gotten, but definitely it is something of like the longs, like, yeah, August still has something else to come to him, but, the bill needs to come due eventually. So, definitely that does need to pay out. But of course, right now Cordell's like, you should go find your grandma and apologize to her for like, for calling her the B word. So you should go find her right now and, apologize. And, then we cut to Grandma Walker just walking. Apparently it's snowing for some reason in Texas. I don't think it ever has to snow there in Texas. However, before she finishes her walk, she suddenly collapses on the grass. No reason. Doesn't look like a stroke. Doesn't look like a heart attack. She just passes out. And you're just left wondering, shit, what the fuck happened? And that was the end of the mid-season finale for Walker. I feel like this episode was really great overall. I feel like it definitely hit for me a little close to home. Again, I just love feelings of certain things and just, the family conflict and everything. But it definitely felt like a sense of like, finding of like things have been revealed, things have been said, and you have that carryover to like, what does that mean going forward, as well as it leaves you wondering like what is next, because there's still a lot of there's still like new things with like, how will Cassie and Kevin work out? Will Stella actually ever forgive her dad? Will Stella and August ever patch things up? Still many questions. The whole ominous thing about Grandma Walker's mother passing away suddenly on Thanksgiving, now her having this moment, like, is it like something of a family, relation or something? We again, it's a big old, we really don't know, to be honest with you. And it's scary to think, like, will she actually die? I don't think so, personally. Like, it would be a big blow, but it feels like whenever you do a death on a CW show, it is something that's usually unannounced. It isn't something that, like, you really have. I mean, the only time would be the Arrow season 4 thing with Black Canary. That was the only time I could ever see that happening. But other than that, like, usually when they promote like this character might die, spoilers, they're most likely not going to die. They just use that as promotional material to get you to tune in for the next episode. So I think she'll be fine. It'll definitely be like mostly like a plot point to bring her brother back into play and like, salvage their relationship, find out more about that side of the family again. That's my prediction on that front. But definitely it will probably keep the family closer in terms of like, you don't know when something can happen and when, someone's going to go. You never really know. So that'll definitely keep things going interesting enough for whatever the next plot point may be for that. We still have James figuring out about like maybe about what Cassie and Walker did with the evidence. Again, it wasn't malicious or anything, but just they were not supposed to like open up those documents and like read them themselves. They were not supposed to. So how did he figure it out? Or maybe he doesn't know, or whatever he's talking about. Again, we don't entirely know. But definitely it is a question mark for like later down the road, to be honest with you. And honestly, after that point, I think other than that, yeah, I feel like definitely with Walker this season, it definitely is doing things a little bit more like serious, a little bit more mature. That there are things that are kind of like when it comes to growing up and going to the next chapter, there are going to be growing pains like this. That your family isn't entirely going to be the same family always. Like the core values are still there, but when you grow up and when you change, it definitely will create much of a conflict with others. Eventually, when you take certain sides or take certain personality traits, like you really aren't the same person as before. And definitely that is something that I hope we get to continue exploring as Stella gets older in August as well, that, it isn't as simple anymore as like, just yelling at your kids. It definitely is something that Cordell has to learn through this summer. Also, we still haven't figured out what the hell is Jerry doing with Hoyt? How did that come up all of a sudden? Like there definitely is a lot of things they still have to like figure out. And I cannot wait to see what they're gonna do when we come back next year with the second half. But for now, I'm gonna give this episode 2 thumbs up. I really enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments below, what did you think of this week's episode of Walker? Let's have a conversation down below, because I would love to have one with you. But I believe that's gonna do it for me today, everyone. So if you're unaware, this has been What's the Two from ActionX, reviewing every episode in the 3rd season of Walker. If you want to know what we're doing normally, What's the Two besides our Walker episode reviews, we are currently doing Walker Independence episode reviews, and the Rookie Feds episode reviews, and DC Starker episode reviews each and every week after brand episodes on the CW or an ABC, after brand episodes air there live. If you don't care about Walker, sad to say, we will not return. We will return in 2023 with brand new episodes to review for season 3. We have no idea when they're premiering. There is no return to any. I did briefly read on the TV listings, which is usually just the source of like when they have to publicate when the show returns. I did read something on January 23rd, which I believe is a Thursday. If I might be wrong on that. I could have skimmed that article quickly enough. But that was a rumor date. But considering the fact that they didn't even mention a month, I don't know if that's scary or anything. I definitely know with the new leadership and everything, they are doing things differently this year around. So, and again, it's probably just to get the cast and crew more time to film more episodes. Because I'm pretty sure they burned through most of this season's footage already. Because just how quick the season's been preparing. Like, 7 weeks with no breaks. I mean, it's great for us as viewers, but now we're in the cost of like, we're getting nothing in December, nothing the rest of this month. We don't know when it's coming back in 2023. I don't know about Walker Independence. I haven't watched the episode yet. So it could be the same thing, like they'll come back together whenever the time is right. But again, they are going to be wrapping things up pretty soon on both fronts. So we'll see how it all goes. We'll see. But we will return in 2023 with brand new episode reviews for your viewing pleasure. But for now, this is it for now. Again, until then, I hope you enjoy your holiday season, your Thanksgiving, your Christmas, your Friendsgiving, your Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, all the holidays under the sun, and of course your New Year's. I hope the rest of your 2022s are well. I'll probably repeat this again on the Walker Independence side of things tomorrow. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this year's episodes of Walker. It's been a blast. I say like this is the end. I'm like, well, I don't know when we're coming back. I don't know. I don't know when I'm going to wear this hat again. I love this hat. I really do. I don't know why I took off the hat. But you get my point. We don't know, when we're going to come back. Obviously, we have other things to be reviewing pretty soon. So the show here must keep moving on. So once again, this has been What's the Two from ActionX. Please subscribe to us on youtube.com/ActionX videos. Ring that bell for notification when our next episode review is live. Please also follow us on social media, as well as like, favorite, share as always. But until we see each other again, for all you Walker Texas Rangers out there, I'll see y'all next year for the second half of season 3. Whatever that is, who the heck knows. But until then, stay safe out there. Be good to each other. Enjoy your holiday season. Enjoy the rest of your year. I'll miss you all, but we'll be back next year. I promise you. But until then, stay safe out there. Be good to each other. I just said that. I don't know what I'm repeating. But guess what? You don't get to see this beautiful face every week for a while. But until then, until next year,